I say, I'm gonna lock these dudes up in a concentration camp where we're gonna get them healthy food, we're gonna get them exercising, and I'm looked at as crazy.
Yeah.
Here we go. There it is. Adolf Hitler over here is trying to get people in a concentration camp so he could make them less fat. That is today's episode of What? Starring yours truly, Myron Gaines, also known as Concentration Camp Crappy. I mean, this dude is crazy. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but Myron Gaines is someone from the podcast Fresh and Fit. I sometimes refer to it as Fresh and Fat because he's the fresh guy and I thought the other guy's the fat guy, but it's Fresh and Fit. I didn't know that. Anyway, they came up doing really sort of crazy podcasts where they would invite people from Miami, oftentimes only lonely man's models, I don't know if I could say that, and then challenging their beliefs and often making them feel like their career and life choices are invalid. So it turns out that is not the only thing Myron Gaines hates. The only things he hates more than ass cheeks are complex carbohydrates. Because this man has now jumped ship into the channel Jubilee, which, if you don't know what that is, congratulations. Stay off that page. Is a channel where they do things like 6 people pretend to be white. 1 person isn't. Yes. 6 people pretend to be happy. 1 person is about to shit their pants. Jubilee is a channel that is basically like BuzzFeed, but the offspring. So I see it sort of as BuzzFeed.
My balls! I don't want my balls sticking to my leg.
Just for our generation, and I hate it as much as BuzzFeed, so that's all you need to know about that. Anyway, you pair these 2 people together, Myron Gaines and Jubilee, and you get the show Middle Ground, in which fit people versus fat people to see if they can agree with each other's lifestyle. I was under the impression that if you were fit, you like working out, and if you were a bit heavier set, you like eating. I didn't think there was a problem, but apparently there's a problem according to Jubilee. So today we're going to figure out if fat people are okay. That's the thing, apparently. We'll figure that out. In this long-winded video that's over an hour, I'm going to break it down. Some of the points Myron says may be triggering, because Myron himself is a triggering kind of guy. He's also unintentionally hilarious, and he wants to run for president so he could make people unfat. That's a new campaign if ever I've seen it. I just want to say, if you are skinny, great. If you're a bit heavy, great. If you're a big boy, big girl, anything, great. Enjoy your body. We don't have much time in life. It is just not worth it worrying about what other dodo heads think. Okay, while you're at it, do subscribe if you feel it, if you're feeling that, and also join me on my Instagram at sixteenleo. That way you can give me new ideas for the next video. Whoever gave me this idea, thank you. I thought I could avoid him, by the way. I don't watch his podcast. I just go onto Jubilee, another channel I don't watch, and they combine. They're like evil superheroes, just teaming up to hate on me. So the title's it's called Jacked Men vs. Fat Men. Originally called that. Does that not offer some sort of bias? Jacked Men? Who the hell wrote that title? We got the super sexy jacked men there, oil their bodies up, jacked men. And we got those baby-like looking fat potato sacks on the other side. Those people. Whoever wrote that title, a little bit biased, I would say.
Today's discussion between jacked men and fat men.
Why? Just call them like well-built men or like muscular men or men with low body fat. What a weird colloquial way, like jacked up hunks of meat that I'd love to put my buns in between. And we got the fat Teletubby looking fuckers on the other side. Ugh. I wouldn't even watch them even if I didn't have eyes. What a weird way to say that. The first question they ask, and this is how they do it, is they ask a very redundant and stupid question in which the answer is often, always, I feel this way, but it doesn't matter because the majority feels a different way. That's the answer. But they offer a question that evokes some sort of madness among 2 people and they try to find common ground. Almost never works. I mean, at some point I'm sure it did, but when you invite someone like Myron Gaines, you know what you're getting. And Jubilee knew what they did. In fact, the comments all pretty much allude to them saying, you guys know exactly what you did by inviting him on. The first question, I have felt disgusted looking at a fat body. What do you think's gonna happen here?
I have felt disgusted looking at a fat body. Whoever feels compelled to start us off.
Myron didn't even like walk. He teleported to the chair because he's like, fuck yeah, I have fat asses. I hate those people. Myron, have you ever looked at your co-host on the podcast? Every time you say this stuff, do you not think he's watching, crying, shedding a tear from his Teletubby eyes or something? I thought Fresh and Fit was like the before and after. The fat one is before, and then you get Myron. But I don't know who's worse.
Well, it's unacceptable to be fat.
There it is. Okay. Well, we're 5 seconds into this. We might as well get that done. We're unacceptable. It's not even frowned upon in Myron's world. It's unacceptable. Humanity is not going to exist if Myron had any control over the fat people.
Well, I mean, you can make an argument that you're less valuable when you're fatter because you drain resources, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I mean, in general.
This is the kind of discourse we'll be having today. If you're fat, you drain resources. Apparently, you suck like resources out of things. Like, you know, when you're done with your drink and you still have the straw and you're like, that's what Myron sees fat people as. That is fantastic.
It shows a lack of discipline, it shows a lack of character, it shows a lack of temperance, and when you're fat, it's an outward manifestation of your inadequacy.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to try and break it down because Myron does this thing where he speaks very confidently. He's a confident dude, and that is throwing a lot of people off because a lot of people listen to him and they're like, yeah, that's right. Fat people do control every single morsel of food. They eat those morsels. Okay, all right. Fair enough. I'll grant you certain points. I'll actually try and listen to him instead of just be like, this guy's silly. I don't think that being heavy set is an outward look as to how ill-disciplined you are. I think there's a lot of people who have intense disciplines in other areas. I feel like if you're a sumo wrestler, you want to be that weight. That is actually showing discipline for you to eat that much. When you're bulking, you actually have to eat more just so you could cut it down. So that doesn't necessarily mean that because you're heavier that you're not disciplined. In fact, like some of my favorite directors who do movies, they might be a little heavier, but my God, they know how to direct, so it must mean that they have some discipline, right, Myron? Come on, it's a broad statement.
When I see somebody who's 500 or 600 pounds, all I can think of is, why do they care so little about their health that they can do this, allow themselves to gain that much weight?
This is Greg, by the way. He's 5 foot something. Not really sure. I think he says 5'6", and he's injected steroids into his brain, so he's currently experiencing brain rot. Everything he says can be disregarded. I honestly have not heard one thing he said in the whole hour that made much sense, but he is like the mini Myron, kind of.
Knowing it's taken 20, 30, 40 years off their life, I just can't imagine not wanting to live that badly.
Right. So let's just cut this fat. Damn, I should have thought of another one. Listen, if you're obese, it's probably not a good idea. There's a huge difference between being heavyset and being obese. I think everyone can agree. Being obese sort of is a health risk and something that I don't think anybody aims for it. Nikocado Avocado used to be fat. What he's doing now is borderline obese, and people are more concerned for him than anything. And I think at that point it becomes something where it's like, maybe you should take control over this. But if you just start looking at people and you're like, ugh, what a fatty, then you're a pretty shitty person yourself. Who looks at other people and is so mad at them? Just let people live. Greg, get that brain rot out of your head.
Wow, what have they done? And not be discussed? Like, how can you not? I just can't understand.
You can't
nobody
assume that
thinking
everyone
that.
has the same opinion, though, because
Greg is going to assume everyone has the same opinion. And it just goes to show that if anybody in Greg's family is fat, I don't even think they have to be fat. I feel like if anybody's not pumping roids in Greg's family, he's like, what are you doing? What is that? Wheat? What? Cheerios? How about you inject those with steroidios? Eat that shit for a living. Greg's brain has muscles, okay? Nothing else is going on there.
emotional stuff that happened, traumatic stuff that's happened, so you can't discount and just say,
Boo-hoo,
because
man.
they're fat.
There's way worse stuff going out in the world versus
Absolutely.
people saying, oh my God, I'm sad, I'm gonna eat some.
Boo, man. That's crazy. This is literally how he's gonna react to everything. He's as if he's on the podcast. He even went so far as to wear a Fresh and Fit t-shirt. I don't know why you'd be wearing that on Jubilee. I wish Jubilee blurred that shit out and was like, Myron, if you come on here, you can't wear that crap. Nobody's buying a shirt that says Fresh and Fit and looks like the BMW sign ripped off, okay? You used the wrong colors for that, bro. Anyway, my point is, Myron goes on to say that it's inexcusable. People have way worse problems. And to a degree, I'm from a third world country. I can agree. I know that people in third world countries do have different problems. But if you're not born in a third world country, how are you supposed to have that perspective? Sometimes it is that hard for people to control their eating. Everybody's going through their own struggle. It's weird to try and justify what you think should be a big struggle and what isn't. Sometimes it's not. Damn, I look at ice cream, I'm gonna eat that like some ice cream. is what I was gonna say there. Not anything dirty.
You deserve to be bullied. It's ridiculous to me that we have all these fat people running around. Meanwhile, people are being bombed in Gaza.
Oh my God, please don't compare that to that. Okay, Myron compares being fat to living in like the Middle East and having no freedom. Oh my God, dude, that's the worst take. Okay, let me try and process what this... God damn it. Is this what his podcast is like? Really? How can people watch this? Sorry, Myron. That's a really nice haircut, by the way. It looked like he put shoe polish on his head. That's very black hair. Oh, he was talking about America, the greatest country in the world. Let's talk about that. I love America. I am not from there, but I love the country. I'm not even being ironic. I love America. What I love about it is how people can be free. Free to do whatever the shit they want. That includes eating fat tubs of ice cream from Ben & Jerry's whenever the fuck you want and not being judged by some dude with a shoe polish haircut, because that is America. And if you have a system where people cannot be fat, you're actually going against why you think America is great. So you'd be, in effect, ruining your own take by making people do something that they don't want to do. Think about that, Myron.
You got the gift of life. You got the gift of being in a developed country, and you're a fat POS talking about body positivity on TikTok?
POS means piece of sexy. It actually doesn't, but piece of sexy sounds nice. I'm not sure why the Jubilee moderator is just letting him talk about things like this. I thought we were trying to have civil discourse. Saying people should be bullied is wild. And then also calling them a POS for what? For being heavier? That's crazy. Imagine someone being short and you're like, you piece of shit. And someone's just like walking around. Like imagine, gosh, Danny DeVito. The coolest dude. You idiot. This is like existing. That's crazy.
Okay. We need to bring shaming back in so many other regards besides obesity. We need to do it with sluts. We need to shame fat people. We need to shame everybody.
It's like the podcast all over again. For anyone who hasn't watched Fresh and Fit, now you're getting to watch it. Wow. That's what, don't you love it? He's like a new US candidate. If I'm back in power, I'm gonna shame sluts, fat people, thin people, skinny people, white people, black people, not so much. The Mexicans, North Koreans, not South. They're cool. Also, I'm gonna shame YouTubers. That's him. That's Myron. I don't even know what to say. This is the craziest take that I've ever heard, and Jubilee is just letting it happen. Look, this dude's smiling so hard his gums is sticking out because he cannot believe the absurdity of what Myron is saying, and it is so absurd.
When they fuck up. Because shame has been one of the strongest defenses against degeneracy and human fuck-ups.
You had a personal experience you wanted to do.
Shame is not the way to lead people into the promised land. This is now you're getting close to like dictatorships where you're using fear to reform people, which doesn't work. It's proven to not work. Reform, recidivism doesn't. It's not a thing if it's based on fear of you going back there. The whole point of going to jail or something like that is that you get reformed and then you never are like that again. Not that you're so scared to go back that you wouldn't do it. We predicate systems of change, the merit that the reason you're doing it is because you want to or seek a higher purpose when you're doing it. That's why in places like Europe, like I think Netherlands or something, they're shutting down jails because people they don't go to jail. And it's not because they don't want to. The jails there are lovely. In fact, they're better than most people's houses, but nobody really wants to because of how good the system is of reforming people. And it's not based on how shitty the place is. So I feel like there are so many problems against what he just said, but shaming is not the way to get people to do something you want.
Shirley, you said you used to be overweight.
However, bitch, stop wearing Crocs unless they're Shrek Crocs, in which case, go ham.
I did an experiment back in like 2015 where I like bulked for like almost 2 years and I got up to like 250 pounds and then I dieted down. It took me about 7 months. I systematically did it, control my calories, systematically lost 1 to 2 pounds per week.
What? Who does that when there's no purpose? Who wakes up and says, I'm gonna gain 200 pounds for no reason? What? It's not a role. It's not like he was preparing for a movie where he played a guy called Myron Gaines who just woke up one day and said, I'm gonna gain 200 pounds. He didn't even film it. Like if you film it, it's for a movie. If you're just doing it, you're a psychopath. What the fuck? Myron, why? What kind of evil scientist are you?
So you chose to gain, up to 250.
Yeah,
you were
so
naturally
I've been
skinny
on all
before
spectrums.
him.
Like I'm naturally skinny.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get fat as an experiment.
Yeah.
Did it, and then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna lose the weight.
What kind of experiment is I'm gonna get fat? Doesn't seem to be a really good experiment, Mar. I don't know if this Albert Einstein experiment is going to really yield any results. What results have you got? I ate food, and thus by eating lots of food, I became heavier. Then I didn't eat food, and somehow the weight just dropped off me. Thus, ending my experiment. Food, eating lots of it makes you fat. Myron Gaines. And then he submitted it to NASA, and they threw it into space. Good work, Myron.
This is with working out 4 or 5 times a week.
That's not true.
This is
Nah, you
100% true,
can't.
bro.
Nah, bro.
No,
Come to the gym with me. This is me
it's not
working out.
natural at all because at the end of the day, if you don't lose weight, by definition, you're not in a calorie deficit.
The only thing I will agree with Myron, and it pains me to say this, is yeah, it's probably true that caloric deficits are how people lose weight. Whether you're training or not, if you burn more than you consume, you're going to lose weight. I think that's just factual. Of course, let's bear in mind there are so many factors to that make it harder for people to stay in a deficit, like medical conditions or just how their metabolism works. Age, height, gender. There's a lot more than just saying nope. But Myron likes that. He likes those nope.
For growth. Do I think they've been put in a disadvantageous position that's probably makes it harder for them? Absolutely. I think I'm kind of an empath, so when I see somebody, I know that there's things underlying, and someone
An empath bodybuilder. Oh my god. You know when he like lifts the weights? The non-empaths, they just throw the weights. He puts it down like slowly and 200 pounds. Love you, 200 pounds. That's an empath bodybuilder right there. I've never seen it before, but now I have.
one of my best friends is 400 plus pounds. I've helped him lose 150, 200 pounds. He's gained it back, and I don't.
You're a shit trainer. What? His friend lost 150 pounds, then gained it back? What the hell? That's a weird journey. All right. I don't know if I want to be trained by that guy.
You can get fat and lose the weight if you know what you're doing and you have the knowledge and everything else like that. It's just about consistency over time. So it's like, I look at it like...
let me cut you off because here's one thing that you just said.
Yeah.
Let me cut you off, Tevin. Myron just brought back a classic. He said you got to have the knowledge in order to lose weight. He pulled out a Ty Lopez.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. Knowledge.
Man, that's a throwback to the past. I don't know if you guys know that guy. Back in the day, there was this dude who was terrorizing YouTube with his ad. Here in my garage, just bought a brand new Lamborghini. And every time you heard that ad, you shut off YouTube because Ty Lopez was an evil genius who tried to market his way to the top. That just brought back so many memories. So if you're not losing weight, it's probably because you don't have the knowledge to do so. I don't know what knowledge you need. I think you work out, but I guess that's what you need to lose weight. Knowledge.
You have the tools. So there's people that don't have the tools that you've passed judgment on, and you have failed to realize that with the tools, people are very much capable of achieving.
Why does Myron look like he's holding a glizzy in his hand? You gonna do something with that glizzy, Myron? Why you do that? Why you got both hands on the glizzy? Dude, a little sus.
You are passing judgment on people who lack the tools to do what it is that they need to do to get themselves to a certain point of health.
Tevin brings up a good point, just by the way, that Myron easily passes on judgment. And the only people who pass on judgment are people who feel like they're superior to others, because it's very hard to pass judgment if you don't feel like you're superior. If you feel like you've got a lot to learn and you constantly feel like, wow, I never saw it this way, that's interesting, you're probably not likely to look at someone and be like, you're stupid. But if you feel more confident, if you feel like you know everything and we don't know everything, then you're probably going to judge people. Is that a good thing? Hell no. Life is full of twists and turns, and Myron's he's been going through some twists and turns. Last I heard, Fresh and Fit got absolutely obliterated by YouTube. I don't know if they're getting paid anymore. Maybe this is why he's on Jubilee. Anyway, Tevin, continue.
On the flip side, what if I turned around and I did the same thing to you? You're talking about how fit and stuff that you are, but you're over there and you're smallest compared to these other guys.
Oh, Tevin hit him with the "you're small." Damn, Myron getting checked. He's getting fit checked right now. Jeez.
He's obviously very triggered.
Oh,
but
I'm
yeah,
not
so let's talk
triggered.
about, let's hit the first part, tools. What are the tools? The tools are simply knowledge, which you can get for free on the internet.
Myron reminds me of one of those kids in school who like has a little bit more knowledge, or who has like went onto the internet and studied for like a few sections and then thinks that he has read ahead to the end of the book and starts schooling the other people. And it just goes to prove the loudest isn't always the most correct. But that is crazy how he just comes here with like a few theories, not much factual evidence, and just absolutely is not willing to learn anything from anyone else. That's not why you go on middle ground, but I guess Myron came with an agenda.
Oh, my feelings. Oh, I don't know what, you don't know what people are going through, blah, blah, blah. No, you can watch your calories. You can go to the gym. You have time to do it.
Amazing impression. Who is that of? Wow. I need to... Is he a comedian? I'm fat. That's him imitating someone else. Good work, Myron. That's... You imitating Fresh? Or Fit? Is it that other guy from that show? You imitating him? I feel like you are.
Well, like I said before, it's a culmination of a bunch of bad decisions. I'm not gonna go ahead and give the same level of respect to someone who's a fat ass to someone that has worked really hard and diligently on their physique.
This is the kind of quality you get with a friend like Myron. Imagine eating a donut next to Myron and he slaps it out of your hand and then he puts a glizzy in it. He's like, eat that or don't eat it all, because those are your only options, you fat, slimy bull. God, how does Myron get through the show? Because his co-host he's a bigger dude. I don't understand how every like podcast break he's like, what are you eating? Huh? They're gonna call it Fresh and Fat if you don't. You shape up, and I'm pun not intended, but seriously, dude, he didn't even disagree with like the other guy said, why do you hate fat people? I thought he was gonna be like, I don't, I just have a problem with this. He was just like, I'll tell you why I hate them. They ate all my glizzies. That's why.
Because your body's outward manifestations,
There's more
other decisions,
factors to
your
a human
consistency.
being than their body.
Well, you could judge a lot just off of someone's physique. You'd be like, okay.
Actually, sir, you pretty much explained Myron to a T. There is more to a human being than their body, and Myron tends to only see people for their body and then base everything out of that. He's like a human Tinder, and as we all know, Tinder is shit, because we look at things and then we judge after, and that is not how you're really supposed to judge people. I know in the world in which we live in, it is probably a humanistic trait to judge someone off their appearance. Physical attraction is super important, I think so, but it's not the only thing, and to judge someone just based on that before you even know the rest of them, pretty shallow, Myron. About as shallow as that haircut.
And the reason why there's so much pushback on this whole body positivity, and people make fun of Lizzo, rightfully so, by the way, is because
he has his own ad libs. Every now and again he talks and says something like, yeah, by the way, Lizzo's fat, which he is, by the way. He's like Quavo. He does his own shit every now and again. Lizzo's fat, really fat. It's like, well, okay, I got the point here. I'm trying to listen to him, but he's doing ad libs and stuff. I didn't know this was a rap battle.
it's unattractive, it's unhealthy until we had this woke era.
It's not unattractive to people who think it's attractive. I mean, okay, that's like everyone got different preferences. Some people like this type of person. Some people like that. It's not. That's crazy. That's an umbrella statement. You can't say that.
But when you're fat, it says a lot about you. People aren't gonna sit there and be like, let me see if he's a good person. No, they're just gonna assume that you're lazy, which you are, by the way, when you're fat.
There's another one. People are gonna assume you're lazy, which you are, by the way, when you're fat. Can I counterpoint that? I feel like you need to bring me on Fresh and Fit. I'm gonna charge though, because you know, I get paid. I get paid the big bucks. You may not know this, Myron, but I'm a ballin'. Okay, I lied, but still. Point is, you're talking about the magazine cover, right? Talking about body positivity, and this is a big conversation to have. Yes, they put all of these people who are busty and got the abs and everything on the covers, and he says people aspire to be like them, and it's positive, but it isn't though, is it? Because those people are under specific lighting, they're edited, airbrushed, lots of things are happening there. Predominantly for a long time used to be white, so if you were even a different color, you'd be looking at that being like, ooh, they don't see brown as beautiful, they don't see black as beautiful, Asian as beautiful. There is so many problems with that if you go on either side, you can see how it is affecting people. And people don't want to be forced to look like something that they can't achieve, which is exactly what you see on magazines. And I think that's just as detrimental, if not more so, than seeing someone who might be more overweight or heavy, or someone who looks more realistic in a certain sense. There's a long way to go with that still. It's weird to like just have one opinion and not acknowledge how absolutely destructive it can be on the other side, and has been. I didn't inject my brain with steroids.
and you don't have discipline, which you are, by the way.
Jacked men are more attractive than fat men.
He wasn't even asking. He just said that. There was no question there. He's like, jacked men are so sexy and not fat men. But the question is, how do you guys do your eggs?
Like, how is it possible that they're thinking, no, being obese and unhealthy is more attractive than being fit and healthy?
I knew the jacked men would like other jacked men. This man wants to jack another man, I'm pretty sure.
How is this possible?
Actually, you know what? This is precisely why a majority of women find a majority of men as unattractive. Because a lot of guys think this way, oh, I just be a nice guy and girls are gonna like me.
Do you think, Myron, sorry, I just had a thought, because like, I actually want to know your guys' opinion. Ladies, if you're in the comment section, can you comment below what body type you like on a guy, physically only? My theory is actually a lot of girls like dad bods and stuff, and it might not even just be because of how they look. I feel like a lot of guys who take care of their body turn into evil people. They get such big inflated egos that it becomes hard to maintain. Like, as a girl, I'm sure you're looking at this guy like, okay, he's just looking for the next girl that he can like scan, or this guy loves himself more than he loves me. And I feel like if everyone just had a pretty chill personality, you could probably say that, yeah, it might be even, or maybe people might like muscular more, but it comes with a lot of side effects, like the steroid head that Greg uses, or like Myron, who is insufferable. It makes it harder to want to date people I'm sure are jacked because they come with a lot of complications. So that's just a theory.
A game theory. Thanks for watching.
The other theory could be, man, dad bods is just beautiful. I mean, it's up to people.
No, they're not. She's not gonna suck your dick with the same veracity when you're a fat fuck as when you're in shape. She's just not.
Can you do a science test on that, Myron? Have you done that? In the 2 years in which you bulked up, that's a scientific thing that you just said there. A girl will not suck your dick with the same veracity if you're fat. What do you say? A fat fuck as well. Hold my tongue and call me Susan. Are you for real? Well, I've never been on both sides of the coin, Myron, but you seem to have been. So I would like a written study on that, because I don't know if that is true. Damn, he said that with so much oomph. Sounded like he was on the other end of that. Myron.
Soul tendencies, dark triad traits, etc., and guys that are physically in shape. So if you want to get the best of your woman, where she respects and admires you, while simultaneously being aroused by you so she doesn't cheat on you, you need to have it all.
Okay, so that became another whole thing that Myron throws in, because he is unable to have a conversation about one thing. This, I find, when people don't have enough knowledge on a subject, will just bounce off the wall and speak on 10, 20 things at once. And Myron is now saying that a woman will not cheat on you if you have lots of money, you're tall, you're in shape, you're funny, and everything else under the sun. Okay, didn't know you need to have it all, but apparently you need to have it all in order to satisfy your woman. I will write that down on the whiteboard that I will throw away later, because I don't believe that shit. But okay, that's good information. But the question was, jacked men are more attractive than fat men. I didn't know it came with all these stipulations, like you have to have money, be tall, and all that stuff. Seems like there's no winning, according to Myron. It's pretty doomed mentality.
Put Zach and Greg, and you put them next to each other, and you did a poll, I think that most women would probably pick him if you had to, like, because he's got the height and all that.
So now we get to the point where I am crying crocodile tears, because the empath bodybuilder compares Greg, the 5'6" brain rot man, to Zach, the 6'5" model, who is a bit taller and a bit heavier set. And he says, pretty correctly, I might say, that most girls would probably go for him, and I don't doubt it. I mean, Zach's a good-looking dude. So then Greg says, yeah, but he's 6'5". And now we come to the point that it doesn't matter if you're fat, thin, skinny, I don't know, bald. If you're not tall, she ain't gonna be on them balls.
8 years old.
Obviously, height is a big component. So that you know, so it's not you're comparing apples to oranges. But if you take the same guy, same height, etc., but one guy is fat, one guy's in good shape, she's always gonna go with the guy that's in better shape.
Apparently, the middle ground between fat people and thin people is that if you're not tall, you're never gonna get anyone. So it doesn't matter in what kind of society you are. If you're a guy and apparently you're below 6 foot, you're done. So I'll see you guys in the graveyard when I'm done, because 5'8" apparently is not good enough these days. Gotta start wearing platform heels.
Liars for social media.
Liars for
to look good.
One thing
for
about
clout.
you can never believe what women say, man. You
Correct.
You believe how they behave, not what they say.
That's a different
Who the hell said correct? Was that Greg? Was that brain rot Greg? Can I go back there? Someone agreed with this dumbass.
You
Correct.
You
Who? All right, cool. Nah, that's cool. This pretty much shows, like, imagine making a statement like all men are wrong every time for everything. Would that not trigger some guy who's just trying to live? That's crazy. What the hell? Greg is actually hyping him up like his wingman and stuff. What club do you guys go to where you hate women that much that you can't even acknowledge their beauty inside and out first? Oh, damn, crazy.
Well, I mean, I've talked to almost 3,000 women, and what I've come to
Nice.
realize from talking to all of them is that most of the time, you know, when they're in a comment section of TikTok, like, you're so handsome, blah, 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 will they actually go on a date and have sex with that guy? Probably not.
That sounds like you're speaking from personal experience. That 100% sounds like this man is like, I've talked to 3,000 women, okay? And I've counted every single woman. And they say that I look good on TikTok. But when I say, do you want to come back to my place? They always say the same thing. My mom won't allow me to go anywhere past 7 p.m. They're not doing anything, let alone me. Myron, stop trying to pick up women on TikTok, please. Jeez.
Our society definitely finds Jack guys more attractive. But I disagreed with the statement because
Oh my god, he's stroking the beard he doesn't have. What? Myron is a comedy gold. He's so funny. The problem is he's not trying to be funny and it's hella offensive. But if he wasn't that, he'd be hilarious. Imagine, who does this with nothing? What?
Because I've built an entire brand off of my body. I mean, granted, like, cool as shit. Like, you know, I did something that's all my own. Like, I worked on that.
So Tevin then brings up a point that I feel is not talked about a lot in terms of like entertainment and stuff. It's like Hollywood specifically. But when people look for models and stuff, they want people who are heavier set. And now it's like, if you're a heavier set person and you're trying to lose weight, you're actively doing something against your career because people know you as something. It's called being typecast. And your type is like the heavy person. That's actually true in the fact that Steve Buscemi, the awesome actor, never got his teeth fixed because he said that if he did, he wouldn't stand out as much. To his credit, made a great career. You know, awesome dude. But like, it goes to show that like in a lot of ways, even if you're heavier set and you want to do something about it, it might be detrimental to your career, which is such a I didn't think about that, and I think it's so interesting. That's a thing. Like, you're trying to do something better for your body, but you're doing something worse for your career. What a crazy thing that we probably should talk about more.
The body positivity movement is problematic.
I thought everyone for this question, the body positivity movement is problematic. I thought the fit dudes were going to be like, yes, and then the bigger dudes were not going to say yes. But it was actually one of the few times when everyone came in and sort of agreed that the idea of body positivity is obviously amazing, but it sometimes masks the issues behind it. And people are not aware of the damage that it could be causing behind the scenes, which hearing it from people who are heavier set, people saying like, yes, I am this, but I also agree that we could do better. That's pretty interesting as well.
A problem when you hide behind the shield of, oh, I should love my body, da 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 da. Great, but you have to be healthy too. You can't ignore your vitals. You gotta like check yourself on the inside.
Pretty much the best explanation. It's great, but make sure that you're still trying to be healthy for you and hopefully your family. That's about all that I can say, and I feel like anyone else should. There's only so much you should be talking about other people's bodies. You're not in theirs, unless.
Body positivity is disempowering people.
Oh my God, Greg speaking.
Hey, just love your body. Like Lizzo will literally rub her belly and said, you're giving me all this power as she's eating.
Is Lizzo a fucking Teletubby? What does Greg think Lizzo is? I'm not even like the hugest fan of Lizzo. I've seen some of the like allegations, but like, God, why does he keep talking about her like that? Everybody rubs Lizzo's belly and says, grant me a wish, more hamburgers on Lizzo. Why does he hate Lizzo? What the hell, man?
A burger, and she's promoting being obese.
She's not promoting being... She's eating a burger, bro. She's eating a meal. Chill out.
Another plus size individual that I used to be friends with was just like, well, I don't feel like I can share your content because I'm not sure how my followers are going to perceive this. I think it might be triggering for them.
That's crazy. And like we talked about earlier, imagine trying to better something about your body or yourself, or just get to a place where you feel happier. And by doing that, the community that has embraced you ostracizes you. Wow. Insightful, and something that hopefully Myron will actually take forth, because this is information I personally didn't know, and knowing this now is like, wow, it's really opened my eyes to like those struggles that I couldn't have seen otherwise. I don't think Myron's really doing this, but you know, one can hope.
The body positivity movement is a huge psyop to keep us fatter and stupider.
Okay, well, there it is.
Let's go ahead and make our people fat as hell, get them in the hospitals, get them on medication, continue to make money, etc. It's all a big psyop.
Damn. Okay, well, conspiracy theory Myron over here is he's wildin'. But I will say though, I watched TLC. I was watching Big Ed, and I watched the ads in between, and I'm not even joking with you. Every ad, like maybe I watch 5 ads per like segment. 4 of them were for different types of medications that people could buy, and the side effects were horrific: nausea, vomiting, uncontrollable shitting your pants, saying racial names towards your neighbor. Like, it's crazy how they had that stuff, and they were really advertising hard. So I don't know if it's specifically about people being overweight, but definitely Big Pharma is that's a conversation for another time. It is pretty sad though.
Do you think just being in a fat body and being in the public space encourages obesity, just flat out?
Yes.
Look, you'll have to excuse Greg, okay? He injected his brain today with a couple steroids. His brain is still doing its lift sesh, okay? After the come down and the post pump, his brain will go to sleep and then wake up and he will realize he's being a duty head. No, just existing and being a certain weight does not promote that lifestyle. I don't know what the hell this man is talking about. Can you imagine when Greg, the 46-year-old, was a skinny 18-year-old or 15-year-old? Is he promoting the skinny lifestyle then? Is that what that means? What are you talking about, Greg? If I'm on the toilet, am I promoting the shitting lifestyle? Like, what? How is this even a thing, bro? In your head? Really? Did you think that one through?
Absolutely impacts other people to think, well, think of it. You're
I've
6'6",
never
good looking, you're
looked at- I know,
modeling.
but I've
it's going to
never
encourage
looked at-
other people.
Oh, this is what that's about. Okay, I see what it's happening. He's 5'6", and he is very angry that this man is 6'6", and he keeps bringing up his height and how tall he is. I get it. I get it now. He's short and he's taking out that anger. I feel you, buddy. This is not the right way to do it, but I feel you.
Steroids and are 350 pounds of muscle and winning the Mr. Olympia are indirectly promoting it, even if they don't say they're taking it.
Not the same thing, Greg. Your brain rot is going to other parts of your brain right now. If you're overweight and you're good at something, it doesn't mean people are going to think that that is your lifestyle. Jack Black, I think everyone collectively agrees, is the coolest person on this planet. I don't think there is a single person who has thought his body is disgusting or bad, or he is a bad influence on people. His positivity, constant cool attitude, lack of like criticism towards other people, and ability to just live his best life. Honestly, I think it inspires everyone. I cannot name a single person who doesn't like him. So I don't think you're correct. But that brain rot, you need to check it out, Greg. 5'6" brain rot.
Fitness culture can be toxic.
Yep, of course. Everyone's gonna agree with this.
Here we all are again.
But you know, we like to have fad diets, so go.
Okay, I did not expect Myron to be in this. I thought he was going to be the only one who stays back so he could just be controversial. But Myron agrees that fitness culture can be toxic, and it totally is and can be. It's also a good thing. It just depends who you have and what you see.
I think we need to let people understand that fitness is a lot more sustainable and easier than people think it is, which is why I make fun of fat people so much, because it really is simple and it comes.
He almost had a wholesome good moment. Almost was gonna say, that is right, Myron. And then he did an ad lib. That's why I hate on fat people, because they're super fat. Anyway, it's easy to diet. You should probably just diet. If you don't, take off the tea.
But that right there is what keeps guys like us out of getting into fitness.
Shouldn't it do the opposite though?
No, no one
How
wants to
come?
be told they're a piece of
If I was
shit.
being
Like,
made
Okay. All right. Okay. Lots happening here. But if you can break down what's happening, if you can just slow that down a little bit, you can hear Greg talking about wearing shoe lifts for no reason.
Fun of all
So-
the
so
time
here,
for
let
being
me- let me
short,
ex-
I
let me
wear
ex- let
shoe
me ex-
lifts.
let
to
me
be-
Showing yet again, every time he talks to Zach, he feels inferior because he's a whole 12 inches shorter. Dude, I would feel a little inferior if I was 12 inches shorter down south, but you know what I mean? It's alright. You're 5'6". Wear it with confidence, bro. You can't adjust your height, okay? Be confident. It adds 3 inches.
For as long as I possibly can be, I want to give my body the function it needs. Like just that basic mind shift. Hey, life can get a lot better if you do kind of focus on your health a little more.
So Zach pretty much explains that his method of wanting to do something is what inspires him, which I'm pretty sure most human beings do. Something that makes them want to do something. That's kind of how you build habits. It's not out of fear. I'm actually reading this book called Atomic Habits, and the habits that you create, harbor that are giving you positive feelings, you're more likely to do, as opposed to I'm scared Myron is gonna come and scream at me and then say I look like Fat from Fresh and Fat. You know, nobody wants to be called names because they're not something. Instead, you want to be told you're doing something right by doing something. Positive reinforcement. Not Myron. Myron, they called him Myron because he takes off his shirt and starts Myron in the mirror. Isn't it true?
Not everyone's gonna win. We need winners and we need losers. The losers are the ones that shut down like, oh, I'm sad now. I'm gonna continue eating ice cream. Okay, you're a fucking loser.
Why do you hate ice cream? What the fuck what did ice cream do to you? Did Ben or Jerry do something to you? What the hell is wrong with you? Do you know how good ice cream is? Do you know how sacred that shit is? Oh my God. When they say how many scoops you want, you know what I say? How many you got, motherfucker? I don't know why you hate on ice cream, but you keep talking bad about ice cream. I'm gonna act up. Watch your hood. So yeah, anyway, so I'm sorry. I got sidetracked with the ice cream. Myron starts talking about something to do with toxicity in fitness, and Zach checks him and says, is this the goal? Is the goal the big goal for people to get fit? And Myron says yes, and then doesn't understand what he says after that, which I'll play.
And we're saying shame and calling me a piece of shit doesn't motivate me to get more fit.
Well, we need winners and losers.
So Myron doesn't understand what Zach just asked. He is explaining that if your end goal is to be fit, and I'm not being motivated or wanting to be fit by you negative reinforcing me, then you're not achieving your umbrella goal here. You're not achieving the overarching goal, which is that you want more people to be fit. So if I'm not responding positively to this, maybe you need to try and change something. It's like in school, when I don't know how they're teaching it now, but back growing up, they had one method, and if you didn't know it, you were a dumbass, which is not how people learn. Everybody has different styles and methods of learning. And I feel like now we're more accustomed to being like, okay, I need to see how your brain works, and this is the best way to facilitate that. Myron is not that. He comes from the 1950s type of guys. I just know what kind of shirt he wears at home.
No,
we need winners and losers.
The industry
like there's
is
going to
the
be
one
inevitably
catering
there's
to
going to
the
be
people,
losers. If you
correct?
don't respond favorably to shame and bullying, etc., and you don't overcome it, you're effectively a loser.
Damn it! I don't respond nicely to bullying or whatever else he said. I'll kick someone's ass.
You may want to start changing your ways or changing your name.
Is that positive? I don't know if that's, what is that?
Have your parents ever shamed you, come down on you, made you feel like shit?
Absolutely.
But did you deserve all of it, 100% of it?
Absolutely, they shame me.
Does he have Indian parents? What? How does he know everything about brown people? What? Does he have Asian parents? Oh my God. You basically just described them. Hey, I can tell you, by the way, none of those people have great lives. Not saying that their parents are bad. Hey, I know everyone with brown parents. I have them myself. Not the best. Not always the best. You have to really fight to not have a bad relationship with people who want things for you and don't actually listen to you. Humans want to be listened to, right? So I don't know what kind of school Myron went to and thought that saying shaming your kids is okay, but no, I didn't think I had to say that.
The fitness world, I would rather be with someone who's trying to uplift me, trying to get me to improve, hold me accountable. Tough love, absolutely, I think is important.
Yeah.
There's a total difference between...
I'm so surprised Myron didn't hear uplift me and say like, uplift you? I can barely lift you up, and then try and high five the dude next to him. You're slipping, Myron.
I would not like to be on the other side.
When I was in high school, they do your graduation photos.
They what? Greg! Oh my god, it's passing down to his mouth. So I guess one of the final questions is I would not like to be on the other side. So it's sort of asking, are you comfortable in your body? Would you want to trade? This is a pretty valid question for once. And now they have brain rot Greg to try and answer. And then I don't even know what he was saying. I think he was talking about graduation. I think he called it graduation because it was so cool.
And they had a saying, and my saying was, my worst nightmare would be if I gained 10 pounds of fat.
Are you still in high school? Are you gonna graduate anytime soon with that mentality? Because you seem like a boy, not a man. Who the fuck says that? You can say anything in your yearbook quote and you're like, I would hate to be fat. Brother, just like how Myron said, there are more important things to life than like being fat. There are more important things in life. Jeez, who cares, man? Can you imagine like there's a dude next to him who's like, if you can dream it, you can do it. Or like, never give up, no matter what anyone tells you. One step a day completes the staircase to a journey. And then you see his quote, I would never be a fat fuck like the guy next to me. That's crazy.
Strive my whole life to look kind of like this. I just couldn't imagine it. It would be a nightmare for me.
But the reality is we live in this crazy world where...
That's like the dude next to Greg saying, I could have never imagined being 10 inches shorter. That's, bruh.
I mean, if I was president, hell, I'd put all of them in a fat concentration camp so they can concentrate on dieting and exercising, because being fat is completely not acceptable. I'd have...
Holy Jesus Christ, bro. I didn't know he had that much of a problem. This dude has lost his mind. I've never seen someone think that they want to be the president because they want to get people unfat. Like, he's so dedicated to that. People worry about the economy and stuff. Myron's like, I'm your new president now. The only thing fat is going to be your pockets, sir, because you're not going to be. Because if you weigh over 300 pounds, you cannot set foot in this country. Myron gains. He's gonna gain your vote. What, bro? You know what? We've had crazy presidencies.
Do you really mean that, or are you just saying that?
I'm dead ass. Yeah, if I was president, make me president.
He's dead ass. That's a presidential thing to say. People are like, are you really running, Myron? Dead ass, yeah, I'm running. Me and brain rot Greg are running for president and vice president. If we win, Greg is gonna inject steroids up your asshole, and I am going to make sure you eat nothing but kale and cabbage. Money? I don't know. That's not the only green thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about the greens you eat, sir. Okay? Myron gains for president. 20 never.
Get rid of the obesity problem. Rid of the obesity problem. Rid of the obesity problem. Like that.
And like that, Myron got rid of the obesity problem. I don't know if he was trying to say obussy problem, because he could get rid of that too, I'm sure.
For almost 2 years saying wear a mask, etc. But then I say, I'm gonna lock these dudes up in a concentration camp where we're gonna get them healthy food, we're gonna get them exercising, and I'm looked at as crazy.
Yeah.
And that is the moment he becomes Adolf Hitler, because he is now trying to put people in a concentration camp so they can lose weight. It must be so annoying to have a conversation with this dude, bringing up things like, how was your day? And he's like, I'll tell you how it was. It was good, but if I was a fat person, it wouldn't be good. And so I've seen a lot of them on the way up to the staircase. They probably couldn't even make it up the staircase, bro. I think that I'm going to change this. If you just elect me president, just goes on this tirade. Bruh. Wow, he's really, when he said fresh and fit, he was really like, I'm gonna give you fresh food and you're gonna be fit. This is my presidential campaign right here. I don't know anything about anything else.
Concentration camp, let me be clear. I'm talking about a concentration camp where they're concentrating on diet and exercise.
You said that they had to be in that just now. Don't stop that.
I also would not want to be spewing out stuff just to hopefully get a viral clip.
So if you could snap your fingers.
I just want to say something, Tevin. It is Myron's fault. It is, but it's not Myron's fault completely, because Jubilee brought him on knowing damn well this man is a menace to society and expected this to happen. So the viral clip they're getting is in fact going viral, because this video did super well compared to their other videos, and people like me and everyone else are talking about it. I don't know who we're blaming here, but Myron's 50% and Jubilee's the other 50. Anyway, yeah, Greg then butts in.
And I'm just grasping at straws on how I do it. Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, so whose fault is it that they chose an unsustainable route to lose weight? That's your fault.
It's
See, the
an
problem is that you're a
amalgamation.
professional victim. I don't know if you've caught on to this, but you're
Oh God, okay, psychology 101. Myron the psychologist. He's wearing a lot of hats today, and he should have worn a hat, judging by his hair.
The reality is this, man.
Wait,
you eat too much and you don't
I'm trying to
exercise
figure out
enough.
where these misconceptions
And that's why
about me are.
Oh my God, it's like an actual presidential debate now. Everyone's just talking over each other. The person who's moderating is apparently his mic switched off for the time being. We just get this kind of discourse. Good. This is great, Jubilee.
Again, you can say whatever you want to say.
I do want to press.
I called you out on it, and I said, you're searching for a viral clip.
It's good. That's really good, Jubilee guy. If you keep speaking like that, you might get a word in one day.
It's your masculine duty to make money, to be successful, to lose weight, to be strong and fit, so that you can protect and provide for the people that you love.
Damn, that sucks. I gotta do all that? I just want to sleep. I have to make money, lose weight, provide for other people. I guess since we're going back in the past, is it a girl's duty to cook and just be subordinate to the man? Like, what? I feel like Myron would say yes to that. Because, you know, as we all know, Myron operates on the old system because it works so well that we had to change it. Yes, believe it or not, Myron, time yields lots of changes, because if it didn't, you and me would probably still be T-Rexes. Change is imminent, brother.
And when you're not able to do that, you get depressed and you get sad, rightfully so, because you're a fuck up.
Damn it. That's why I'm depressed and sad. Because I'm a fuck up. That's what my therapist said, and I had to pay them. Every time I pay them, they say, ha, ha.
Depression most of the time is not real.
Damn, son. God, can you imagine a therapist being like, you just paid for an hour. It's not real, bro. I think I've spoken pretty openly about this. I feel like I suffer with severe depression. Pretty open about it too. I don't think that it's a very easy thing to diagnose, because it's kind of different on a case-to-case thing. There is a lot of similarities, a lot of differences. Of course it's a real thing. And Myron will go on to say that no successful person is depressed. And I can tell you off the top of my head 10 people who unfortunately even took measures because of how depressed they were. And they were super successful. Think Anthony Bourdain or Robin Williams. Wow. There is a lot of really, really great people who succumb to it. And it's sad that someone's not educated enough to do that, but then speak on it. But I'm not triggered, because I think it's kind of funny that he just threw that out there with absolutely no regard for the truth.
We live in a meritocracy. I know everyone likes to run around and say, oh, everyone's equal and it's all equality.
Who is that person that he is basing this off of? Every time he tries to do a voice, it's that same voice. Everybody's like, oh, who is that? Who do you know that talks like that? Is it fat? Is it fresh and fat? It's fat, isn't it? Walter, get yourself together.
For everyone, no, that's not how the world works. Why the fuck should I be treated equally to someone who's fat, broke, not disciplined, and not as intelligent?
It's crazy, bro, because if you go to the Middle East back in the day, the Silk Road and stuff, people who were bigger sized were considered to be rich. They were wealth, because it was a sign that if you were heavier set, that you were living in excess. That's a factual statement. So by your standards, that's not good or something. It's kind of weird that we changed that up. But also in the past, there was a certain race of people who thought that a different race of people was inferior. And I think you'd be glad to, as we all are, that has changed. Right? So just judging people off their appearance, I think we can all say is fucking bullshit.
Show me a guy that's making money, successful, has a good set of friends around him, has a network, etc., that is depressed. You would rarely find that. Are there exceptions to the rule? Of course. There's always.
Like I said, I don't need to name people, but Anthony Bourdain would be the prime example of someone who has the perfect career, made extremely good money, great network of people, seemed like a class act, and still couldn't get over that inner turmoil that I'm sure anyone who's experienced it knows exactly what I'm talking about. And it is just not a battle that other people sometimes can understand. But thank you, Myron. That's very nice of you to say. It doesn't exist.
Some people who are overweight, are they going to the gym? Are they putting the fork down? Are they doing the things they need to do? If they spent 14 hours a week doing cardio and eating healthy, they would lose the weight.
So then Brain Rot Greg comes in with a bomb-ass statement saying that if you put in 14 hours a week of just cardio, you'll be like skinny in no time. And then he immediately uses the technique brain rot to undo everything he just said by saying, I've been learning Spanish for 14 hours a week and I am not good at it at all. Proving that even if you do something for 14 hours a week, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will see change. Thank you, Brain Rot Greg.
I spend 14 hours a week learning Spanish, even though I am horrible at it, but I'm trying my best. And if everyone else tried their best, we wouldn't see anyone morbidly obese on this planet.
Vice President Brain Rot. Open claps for that one. That's the big issue that we're all facing. Fatties. That's quite fatties. That's it. Thank you. Thanks. That's great. Aren't you glad he's not president? So now we have final thoughts. And I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of this.
After spending time in this space, you feel like you're closer to understanding the other side than when we stepped in the room.
Some people have learned. Brain rot Greg didn't, and Myron, surprise, surprise, didn't learn a damn thing.
I understand it less.
So Myron didn't learn anything. Greg went backwards. He actually learned less. This is what happens when you drain the brain rot out of your head. It's just empty space. Now he forgot things that he started with. And at the end, I can see why Greg is so mad, because he stands up and that's how he looks compared to everyone else. That is the end of the video. Now, let me tell you my final thoughts. I absolutely learned a lot from Tevin and Zach, what it would be like to be in that industry and how much of a cutthroat industry it is, and what a weird position it is to be known for something that you also are trying to actively get rid of so you can be healthier and spend more time with your family and maybe add years onto your life. What an interesting perspective. I think that it is a really stupid topic, personally. Jubilee should have thrown this one in the trash can. Like I said, I think it's a pretty open thing that if you are any weight and you're happy with it, other people should not be judging you, because you're not doing anything illegal. You're just trying to live your best life. And like I said, we don't have that much time on this earth. I'm not saying that I'm promoting anything or whatever, but I am just not here to tell you what to do. Everyone's grown up. They know what they're doing. And thirdly, Myron. Damn, bro. He is so interesting in all of these weird ways. I am so fascinated by how wrong some of the things he says are. It's so wrong that I'm just interested in it, but I will never watch your podcast for more than an hour. I've tried to watch a podcast of yours. I actually like him more than the other guy, but at the same time, those are some wild takes. Myron does have semi-points, and then he ruins them by continuing to talk. So that's that. But this was basically Jubilee and Fresh and Fit getting together and making a diabolical video that the internet can now joke on.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical!
I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless. I don't know if they should bring him back, but we got nothing out of this. Yeah. If anybody at the end of this is feeling bad about anything, please don't. Don't listen to him. If you don't like what I say, don't listen to me. Listen to your heart, because that is the only thing that controls you. Get that sorted out. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I don't know why I'm like such a sugar high, but I'm feeling good. And I hope that you guys watch the next one, because I'll be here very soon. I will see you then. Take care, guys. Bye.
She ain't even gotta ask. She did a dash and bit it last. You know a dash and she know.